Hello. I know it's like really late. I am on the west coast of BC, west coast of Canada. So it's like 8:30 p.m. my time, which means that everyone, like pretty much everywhere else, is probably already in bed. But I couldn't wait any longer to unbox this beautiful, lovely, beautiful, exciting deck that came in today. And I've been torturing myself with it all day because when it arrived in the mail, I was like, I should unbox this on my channel so that I can record my first impressions. So I didn't open it. It's all wrapped up, even in wrapping paper, like a present, which makes me really, really happy. By the time you watch this, if you're watching this on replay, you'll probably already know what this is. But I'm still not going to say it yet because if you happen to pop into the live, it could be a surprise if you don't know already. I don't know. Probably some of you know. But if you happen to join me in the live, I'm going to open this up and share my first impressions. Hello, Lynette. Hello, 78 Cards. Tell a story. I think I know your name, but I forgot it because memory is the worst. I was just in the mood to do something fun. It's been kind of an insane week. It's Tuesday. It's still been an insane week. And I just want to send some happy out. So I'm probably not waiting much longer to open this up. I'm stalling. Deb, that's right. Thank you so much for reminding me. I feel like I should have known that already. I feel like I should have. You told me last time. I remember now. Like, literally, I'm in so much trouble when I get even older because I'm not going to know anybody. So, actually, before I open it up, so I'll spill the beans since it'll be in the title later anyways, and I've mentioned it elsewhere online today, but this is the Textured Tarot by Lisa McLaughlin. And I thought it was really cute. She sent with it a really nice piece of art. I've got to change this so I get distracted when I see my camera stall, and yet everybody tells me it's like fine on their end, but if it does really legitimately stall, definitely tell me because I won't be able to tell because my preview is horrible. And also you might hear my dishwasher and you might hear my wife and son getting home. But anyways, she sent this really nice card and it was really pretty. And also a sticker that is really lovely that just says keep smiling, which I totally needed today. This was really nice. And look at this sticker. This is totally my jam. You are beautiful. You can probably totally see the reflection of either me or my camera. There's my camera. Hello. This is really cool. This was actually a movement that was started where I can't remember the whole story, but somebody started out with these stickers, and then this like social media thing started where people would leave these randomly stuck places out in the wild, out in public, or they would tuck them in. Like if you go to this youarebeautiful.com that it talks about on here, you can actually read more about it. Will it focus? There we go. Yeah, if you go to youarebeautiful.com, you can read about this. But I thought that's so cool that that's in there. That's such a sweet thing to open up into. Anyways, I really have to rip this open like right now. I can't. Oh no, it's tape, and I didn't even think to grab. Oh, there we go. It'll be fine. We can do this. I'm so excited, and it's legitimately, I was just talking on Facebook about how I was saying for the longest time I don't like collage decks, and then I did, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but I'm so excited to finally have this in my hands. So this deck being in my possession is totally the fault of Katie Flowers and Imogen Walters, who both did either reviews or walkthroughs on this one. The box is really pretty. And I know it's a tuck box, but it's really pretty. I'll probably try to keep the cards in it. It seems really thick, so this must be decent-ish card stock. I guess we will see. Hopefully we're all still here. Yay! And if you're watching this on replay, that's cool too. I'm literally just like excited to be doing something fun. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I keep getting distracted trying to make sure that my camera's not freezing. I'll get over it eventually. I'm sure even on my regular videos, I've noticed that I have some issues with some freezing. I'm using like a webcam. It's a higher end webcam, but it is still a webcam. It does... Hi, Molly! So yeah, it's still a webcam. I've got some issues with like sometimes my sound unsyncs in my videos and stuff, but I'm new and I like it. It generally is getting the job done. The book. Hi, Bunny Kisses. Still thinking if you want to get this deck or not. Feels we've been talking all day. We have been talking all day. I've been bouncing into all the live chats. I just want to legitimately hug everybody in the community. Like, so much stuff. Keeping it light. So the book looks really nice. Like, it's one of the kinds of books that I like where you get, like, it fits obviously inside the box, which is really nice. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I already took a, I already had picked out a fabric and had Peggy make me a bag for this particular deck. I think she might have only had enough fabric for one bag, so I'm sorry if it's not up on her shop. But I'm going to go grab it because I think it's going to be perfect. Okay, hold on. Yay, okay. I have it. I set it aside. I'll show it to you in a little bit, but I want to show the deck first. You're undecided as well. Okay, so tuck box. Not bad for a tuck box. Like, it's not like, it doesn't feel really wimpy. And the back part does fold down that little extra bit. Let's see if I can show it so you can, like, grab the cards. So that's nice. Maybe I'll set that where it can still be seen. So the guidebook is, let's see, I'm so eager to get into the cards. I'm going to keep this quick. Oh, there's no page numbers. Oh, no. How can I tell you? I'm not counting them for you, so we'll just have to assume there's like a card per page, so roughly 80 pages. And then I'm going to get into the cards because I legitimately can't wait. Some cards that have you undecided. Okay, well, let's dig into it. So we have the Fool. You know, I will say one thing about this form of collage is that it's very, sorry, I'm looking at it and maybe not aiming at the camera right. It seems like it's a very seamless, like it doesn't feel choppy to me to look at. Even where this rose has been put into the Fool's hand here, there's even like the wand over top with the satchel. Yeah, it seems really smooth. Yeah, I love the borders. Oh, I should talk about the cardstock. It's on the backs. Look at the backs. They're so pretty. Oh my god. And it is really thick. Like, you can see how thick the deck itself is. Like, it's decent. And these aren't like super huge, but yeah, I love how borderless. Love it. Okay, moving on. The Magician. I kind of love that this is like, this reads to me like somebody who has like this really elaborate like outfit or cloak on. It's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not gaudy, but like, oh, what's that word when somebody, not flashy. I don't know what the word is, but like, I'm blanking on the word, but it's like that whole, you want to be noticed. Like, this is the kind of outfit where you want to be noticed. Okay, I gotta not do the whole walkthrough. This High Priestess is probably one of the cards that totally sold me on this deck. These cards are really nice and matte too, by the way. I love the veils instead of eccentric. Yes, Bunny Kisses, that is the word I was looking for. I love the veils instead of towers in the High Priestess card. There's so much about mystery and about veils in general that I think is really suitable, like symbology for this particular card. And the moon is really beautiful here behind. Love it. This Empress, she's got a pregnant belly here, but it also could look as though she's holding, like the way she's holding her belly, it could also just simply look like she's holding like an egg, or I'm not sure if the camera's gonna focus. Hello, there we go. Oh, I moved it so it unfocused again. I'm sorry, you guys. Come on, you can do it. I'm sorry if these are blurry. I'm still learning how to hold cards so that my camera will be like, yes, this is what we want to do. Anyways, I really feel like that it's almost, you could read it as either part of her or an object she's holding, and I think that's actually nice. It opens up the symbology a little bit, because not everybody wants to talk about the Empress being pregnant, right? The Emperor. I love that his throne has all these books. Like, he's on a throne of books of like knowledge, and one could read that as knowledge, experience. Come on, camera. is this your first time in one of my lives? It's only like my third ever live, so it's incredibly likely. Also, I know your name is Jennifer, and I just spaced. Welcome. We have the Hierophant. I really like this. Oh, I want the camera to focus better. Up above him is like this cathedral-y looking, but it could be anything. Like it could be any like vaulted ceiling, almost like maybe even like in an older building, like in a museum, or it is expansive. He's still got the keys here and he's holding the book, but it doesn't feel overly stuffy to me, which is something I like in my Hierophant cards. Yay, first one. Welcome, welcome. I love, love, love this Lovers card, and this is another card that really sold me on this deck, because I tell you what, that is my favorite thing, is to be the person in front with someone's arms wrapped like all the way around me like that. There's something so nurturing and protective about that. I never actually saw too much of the stretch tarot, but then again, I might have seen it and dismissed it out of hand, Jennifer, because for a while there, I was like, no, collage decks are ew. But then this one is so pretty. And I think it kind of started with, I don't actually know, I think it might have started with the Star Child, which is not a deck I'm like absolutely head over heels for, but once I got it in my hands, I was like, oh, I get it. There can be pretty collage, which that sounds terrible, but well blended maybe is the better term. Okay, this is a Chariot. I probably keep holding it too close because I'm also looking at it for the first time. This is really pretty, and I know my camera is not doing it justice, but there's a lot to look at here. And it's the canopy above her, it looks like it's made of stars. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to regret this one at all. I love this Strength card. This is one of my birth cards, so it is one that I always look at. Strength and the Star, I think. Am I getting that right? I think so. Strength and the Star. And I love, love, love how serene she is. I think of the Strength card a lot of times as self-mastery, and mastering shadow, and also mastering sort of our past and like the things that sort of haunt us and stalk us. And this is really nice. I don't mind it when the lion looks a little bit fierce, more fierce, if it's done well. I really hated the fierce lion battle with Hercules in the new Mythic. That card really, really bothered me because it was too much like overpowering in a dominating way and not in a mastery way. This reads mastery to me. Yeah. Oh my god, this hermit is so good. We don't often get to see a crone type figure as the hermit. And I really like this one. This is pretty. There goes the budget. Jennifer, you're me. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm like right by the camera. It's probably like really loud to you all. Yeah, that was totally me. I actually really, 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 really love this wheel because if you look closely, it's the wheel of the year. So you've got Yule, Imbolg, Ostara, Beltane. Like, I was just like, yes, I love it. The wheel is always turning. I loved that it had the 8 Sabbats. And I wish my camera isn't quite catching. I probably have to be more still, and I'm super fidgety. Yes, the infinity symbol and the roses on the, that was on the Strength card, right? Yeah, I really liked that too. Yeah. Okay, Lisa, try to be still so people can actually see this. So pretty. Oh my gosh. I love how chill Justice is. She's like, yeah, I'm going to do my job. What of it? I love this. Come on. I wonder if I have to hold it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I had it and then I lost it. It's because I moved too much. I'm sure of it. Yeah, the female hermits are amazing. I love it. There's a female hermit coming out too. Somebody posted that image earlier today on one of the groups that I'm in, in the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh, and that one is also a pretty amazing hermit. I'm super excited for that one. The Hanged Man. Pretty much exactly what I am used to seeing here. I like the rose in this character's mouth. And the sunshine behind. And I love that there's a Cretan labyrinth happening behind here. There's a whole lot you could play with that labyrinth in the background with reading, because labyrinth walks are all about a very conscious journey inward and then back outward. I really, really love that. This death card with the white rose like rocks my world. Completely rocks my world. I'm going to try and not take too long, because I know at some point what's going to happen is Peggy and Steven, my son, is going to come home, and they just went to some late night grocery shopping together, and they're going to literally come to the door, and the dogs are going to go nuts. You're going to hear dog barking. It's going to be crazy. So I'll try not to be too long, although we're probably going to hear them. It's just the way it's going to be. This is so pretty. I love that there's like, is this called a caduceus? Is that what that's called in the dress there at the bottom? I love that she's got two different halves here represented. That actually makes me think of a guided breathing exercise I do in my yoga classes, where I have my students notice the breath moving in and out of the one side of their body and then the other side, and then breathe in one side, out the other. That's what it makes me think of. That's really pretty. Somebody posted this earlier, and I was like, I have to unbox this deck. I have to unbox this deck. But the first time I saw this card on either Katie or Imogen's channel, I was like, this is the perfect devil. I really, there's something about this deck that I am just, the devil in the mirror, like, ooh, making you face your crap. You gotta have it. Yes! Buy it, buy it! I'm such an enabler. I've got to justify my own spending. I was just telling somebody, I'm like, now that I have a YouTube channel, I told Peggy, it's like I could just say, it's for my channel, honey. I have to have it. It's for my channel. I got to show the internet. I'm helping. This is a really, really dynamic, explosive, like, tower. It's almost like you're looking at this image through shattered glass. There's these lines coming out. You don't have to view them that way, I suppose, but that's what I see. And what's really interesting is, now that I look at it closer, I don't know if you can see it, but I think this overlay is that same labyrinth again, which is really interesting. Oh my gosh. Ah, yes. I need my star card to feel like an exhale. I know I say that a lot, but it's like, it's yoga, man. I can't help not thinking about things like the breath. You can just write it off for my YouTube business. Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, I need my star cards to feel like sanctuary, and this totally captures that for me. I also kind of dig that she's not naked. I don't know why. The nudity doesn't bother me in the star, but this white dress that she's wearing also speaks to sort of purity and innocence, and there's just things there that I really like. And I think this is supposed, I'm terrible with birds. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But, like, is that actually a flamingo in the background? But the beak's too long, right? Does anybody know? I'm terrible with birds. That might be interesting to look into. And I love the actual star here. It's like a or not labyrinth. What's the word I'm looking for? A mandala. It's like a mandala. Only works for about 10 decks, then the hub's cut on. Yeah, I know. Totally my life right now. Although she did totally enable me to buy a couple decks when we were at Reflections bookstore here locally the other day. That was the last live unboxing I did. Oh my god, here's the veils again. I am dying right now. The thing with veils and illusion and Maya and this concept that we don't see truth, I was talking about that earlier today too. Like, everything we see in the world is always viewed through our own personal filters, through our own veil. And the moon card often comes up, I think, when we might not have the clearest picture, you know, and it means a lot of other things too. But I love, 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 love the veil. Oh, it is a flamingo. Oh, good. I was like, it's a pink bird. It's a flamingo, right? Pink bird, long legs. That should be it. The sun. Okay, so there's like this kid in the background. So this is cool. I like that there is a carousel here. And then we've got this kid playing with the airplane in the front. And both of these children have what look to be like dragonfly style wings. That's really kind of cool. This deck, the collage is done really, really well. It feels like it's meant to look like you could touch. I mean, I guess that's why it's called the textured tarot, but it looks like you could touch different textures and would feel different things. Like, the textures really show up. Holy cow. Wowza. So this is the Judgment card. And you can see a figure here. And then you can see something happening here. And I don't even know what this is, but the energy like that I pick up off of this, especially when I see, it's like we're looking at the Milky Way. We're looking at the solar system right through here. It's literally almost like I get this, I keep thinking transcendence when I look at this card. Transcendence, overcoming, phoenix energy for sure. Don't like the sun? Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta always be one, eh? Creepy baby face. Oh, did I miss the creepy baby? Oh, yeah. That child is just happy, though. Maybe I don't see it. That, you know what? That was me. The like stupid, not stupid, but the like really like big grin. Like, you know what I mean? I meant stupid grin. Like that really big goofy grin. Yeah. The kid in the back's not so bad. He's got shorts on and he looks like he's leaping off of like a ship into the water or something. I know he's flying, but like that's anyway. Sorry. Back to this one. This one's really pretty. I know, and I got to remember too that like chat is a little bit behind or ahead. No, behind of where my actual live talking is happening because there's that little bit of delay. I love the wreath for the world. I like this idea of collective energy, and I like that behind this there is that flower of life crystal grid type sacred geometry happening. And then we've got, of course, the 4 zodiac. I think these are the cardinal signs. My astrology is not awesome, but yeah, Taurus. I think is, yeah. I don't know that one. Pisces, Virgo. I think Taurus. I don't know. Scorpio. It's got to be Scorpio. You have the Celtic Tarot and you took out the Sun card limit? That's awesome. I can't even describe, though, like, even the titles. And I think Katie might have pointed this out. Somebody pointed this out. Katie or Imogen. I keep mentioning them, but that's where I heard about this deck from. But they do look like you could touch them, like they're, like, sewn on labels or something. So we're into the minors. Ace of Wands. Love that burst of energy. The 2 of Wands. Now, this is where you start to really notice the texture. Look at that one. Come on, camera. It doesn't want to focus. You drew on it, Jennifer? That's awesome. What'd you draw on it? The 3 of Wands has these. This is so cool. So, oh gosh, I hope my camera focuses. There we go. Oh, it's because I put my finger in it. Maybe that's what the problem is. Okay, let's try this again. Bring it up. There we go. Do you see that quilted texture? It's like there's a quilt, and there's little ships on part of the quilt here in the front. And this almost, and also at the top, the fabric almost makes it look like a little flame. I like that one. I love this 4 of Wands. I love how there's like a hearth here and the symbology of having put something or created something and now just enjoying. There's a party, picture of a party up here. And this is sort of reminiscent of like harvest time, which is another time we sort of rest or celebrate after a period of work. Yeah, that 3 and the 2, I think, really remind me of the wild unknown as well. Yeah, I like that the earth is in the 2 also. Oh, the 5 of Wands. You know, this was the card that I was looking at in the walkthrough, and I was like, I don't know, man. It's a hand, and there's flames coming out of each fingertip, and I think of the wands often as sort of like that that drive, which I suppose that can really symbolize the drive, but also that I see healthy competition or sort of maybe even getting swept up in competing instead of focusing on just being yourself. So I struggled a little bit with this image. I want to take some more time with it, but this is probably the one I was looking at that I was like, I don't know. I do love the symbology of flaming fingertips. I just want to be able to pull this and immediately relate it to the 5 of Wands. So that might take a little time for me. The 6 of Wands. I do like that the wands feel more pippish, probably because the wands suit for me feels more intangible in a way. It feels like a dynamic energy that we're looking at with fire being the main element, and just, yeah, like passion and drive and purpose is how I kind of look at this. This is neat with the wreath, still reminiscent of the victory of the 6. The 7, and you see these like 2 faces here in the background. Battery dying. Okay, thanks for popping in, Jennifer. That's awesome that it's on your list. These 2 faces are like it's almost like this person is like being the only like sane, rational, I don't know, maybe that's too harsh, but I feel like this person's almost being a mediator, or the one who's kind of really staying present, whereas these people are all caught up in their own crap. This person's got some clarity. At least that's how I'm viewing it in this context. Oh, hi, Tammy. I didn't see you in there. Ace of Wands, you see the chakra colors. I'm going to go back. Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. What did I do? Doesn't matter. I'm going to shuffle them in a minute anyways. Okay. Eight of Wands. I don't need a lot from my Eight of Wands. I just need to see the movement and the speed, and that does it for me. That's pretty common. I love the ferocity and the like determination and power in this Nine of Wands. But do you know what this pose reminds me of? Please tell me somebody has seen, I'm probably going to ruin this card for some of you, but if you've seen the original Terminator movie, I might be totally dating myself, but I mean, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Most of us, okay, maybe some of us have seen it, right? Yes. When he comes and he like, doesn't he like land in this pose naked like this? And he's like there to do some business. It was either in Terminator 1 or 2. Just all the muscles and stuff. It just makes me think of that, like standing your ground for sure. There's this really defensive, like not today energy of this card. I love it. And the Ten of Wands. I really like this. I tell you what though, the quartz in this deck, oh my word, they do it for me. This Page of Wands with the violin, and she's just lost in the music. This is exactly what I want to see in a Page of Wands. I want to see adventure or creativity like clearly expressed. I've got to stop moving the card. I do not have the most steady hand. Come on, you can do it. She's got such a great face too, and it's all blurry. I'm going to figure this out, you guys, someday, and you won't have blurry pictures to look at. The Knight of Wands, and I can't get over it because somebody pointed out how phallic this looks, and it definitely does. But I still love how his, like, hair is totally in motion. He's got this, like, fierce lion. I love that he's, like, so wrapped up in the ride, in the experience, that he's lost his shoe, and I don't even think he's noticed. I really like that. Even if the shoes are, like, super modern, it's still, like, it's like he's just fully in the moment. And there's also this, like, hawk or eagle up here, too, which is a really nice reference. Love, love, love the Queen of Wands. I am loving how gorgeous and, like, big and expansive her hair is. I'm loving that she looks like a force to be reckoned with, and that she looks confident, which is something I also really look for in my queens, particularly my Queen of Wands. I really want to see confidence. Oh, come on. I can do this. There. Oh, maybe I just have to get it closer, you guys. That might be my only problem. Okay, closer and holding it still. The King of Wands, to me, has this really interesting... Oh, come on. Do I have to kiss the camera with the card? Okay, let's pull it back a little. No. Come on. Leo-esque hair. Yes, like a lion. Yes. Love it. Okay, I can't get this dude to focus. He's got a lion tattoo in the center of his chest. There's like a chameleon or a lizard or something coiled around his neck, and I love that he's holding a spear. There's also what looks almost like, I can see it almost like a bomb. Maybe not a bomb, but definitely a big flaming explosion behind him. So there's definitely this energy. In the Osho Zen Tarot, the King of Wands equivalent is called, I believe, the Source or something. And it's literally a figure holding like a ball of fire energy. And that's kind of what that makes me think of, is like mastering that fire energy. This is the suit I really need to love, and I do. From video walkthroughs, for sure I do. I love, love, love how this looks like a big fountain, and it's so overflowing with water in this card. This is stunning. I love this one so much. I love this Two of Cups. And I like that you can see any combination here that you want to see of figures of, for me, the Two of Cups represents balance in relating with somebody else. It represents sort of more of a neutral, not neutral, not too much give or too much take on either party's side is often what I look for in a Two of Cups. So anything that gives me that sense of equilibrium is really powerful. And I don't know, but I keep looking for something in the negative space here, a shape or something. So I want to spend some time like really looking at some of these cards because the artist has been very clever and I'm just wondering if there's something in there. I could be imagining it, but I feel like there's some sort of shape in the negative space. Oh, you were just watching Tarot Knockouts? Hi, Ink and Flame. I'm totally just unboxing a deck, and I went live because I wanted to have this up tonight so I could start playing with this deck right away. And I didn't want to wait for it to upload and processing and rewatching and making sure I didn't say anything silly. So if I say something silly, y'all are just stuck with it, apparently. I love Three of Cups. I love, this reminds me almost of synchronized swimming, like a little bit. I love that I get this exuberance and like joy. I like to see that in my Three of Cups. Really exciting. And I also like that the cups don't have this pasted on at the last minute feeling, which sometimes collage decks I've seen that, or decks that use digital art. Sometimes the cups look like they've been slapped on at the end. This does have some things going over it in places, under it in places, so it does feel more blended. I find it interesting that the figure in this card is literally like dumping out the one cup. Just like, nah, whatever, man. I don't always love that energy. No. Oh no, more deck list. Story of my life, Ink and Flame, for reals. Yeah, this is cool. This works for me. I'm not terribly picky about the Four of Cups because I do typically read it as you have what you need, but you may not always see it. So I like sometimes to have something to pull from there. This is a really, really interesting Five of Cups. So it was pointed out in another video. So 3 of the cups are pointing down, and then 2 are pointing up. And then this figure looks like they're mourning or sad or, you know, depressed or working through some feelings. But then there's this eye that shows open, and to me, I read that as almost like that's where their internal focus is, and their internal focus is over here on the 3 lost cups, and totally looked away from the 2. I mean, we've heard this before, but I just think it's visualized very beautifully in this card. Yeah, really pretty. 6 of Cups with the kid swimming with the dolphin. Are you kidding me? This makes me so happy. This image is great. I like to see nostalgia or getting like, you know, yeah, anything that anything that I can read as like a happy memory in the card. So this is a really great one. It looks like maybe there was a really nice vacation memory almost. So that will definitely trigger my memory of standard meaning anyways when I pull that card. The 7 of Cups. Love that this is a house of cards. I love this. So I'm getting kind of lost looking at the imagery a little bit. It does really draw me in. There's so much to say here. Like it's like if you pull the right cup, then the house of cards will stay standing. But if you pull the wrong one, say out of the middle here, the whole thing will come tumbling down, or underneath even. Probably pretty safe to take one of these, but maybe it's time for the house of cards to come tumbling down. So kind of what do you choose? And I don't know. There's a whole bunch I could kind of dig into there. That's kind of cool. 8 of Cups. Love the long path in front. This is really a traditional looking image. All the glasses are stacked, and they're crystal, which implies something that's cherished or that has been built up for a long time. I don't know, that's how I view it. Like sort of crystal is something you have that you bring out for guests, that you acquire when you're fairly settled in your life. I don't know, that's, you know, maybe old traditions talking, but this person's walking away from that, and we see the butterfly on their jacket, and just, yeah. Okay, so this is one of the cards that I look at in every deck because the 9 of Cups is like my little comfort, homey, I don't know, it's a card that I like to I like it when it makes me feel good to look at it. And this definitely does. We've got this like decadent cup of tea or coffee or something with whipped cream on it. We've got a really contented kitty, and I think it was an Imogen. She's like, oh, it's the cat that got the cream, and that's probably exactly the reference here. things are good and you feel good and you feel safe and you feel content. At least that's how I tend to read this particular card. The Ten of Cups, and this totally looks like two women to me, which of course thrills me because I love to see same-gendered relationships pictured in my tarot because, well, I'm in one. So I love to see that, and since the Ten of Cups is totally my favorite happy ending-ish kind of card, I love the cup suit in general. I love that there's these two little, I think they're dogs. They look like, to me, they look like dogs. I'm pretty sure they're dogs playing in the background on this beach. And it's just like this really comfortable moment. And what strikes me too is that the figures both are topless. And that gives me this feeling of like really ease and comfort with one another. There's an established, it's like, okay, I'm going to say something really inappropriate, but it's kind of like the partner that you can totally fart in front of. Like, that's what that makes me think of. You know, that just totally relaxed energy, that contented, yeah. I'm going to probably watch this back later and go, did I really just say that in my channel? This is the cool thing about lives, though. I don't have to overthink it. Okay, Page of Cups. So this is another card that I like to really connect with in any deck because I really associate myself with Page of Cups energy. Page of Cups in my kind of day-to-day, and Queen of Cups when maybe I'm at my better, my more mature self. But I love how she's totally submersed in the water. And the other thing that's interesting about this is one of the sides of Page of Cups that is relevant to my own life is almost this fingers in the ear, la la la, everything's fine, I'm sure everything will be great. I get caught up in that energy really easily because I want to see the best in every situation and every person. And so being submersed in water gives me that feeling or that reminder about sort of the ears plugged kind of thing. Yes, it definitely could be read as other genders, for sure. For sure. So I obviously saw immediately what I wanted to see there, which is good. I think it's nice when we can, this is what I like about the Healing Light Tarot, which is very silhouette based, and I will have to show that I'm probably going to do an underrated decks video soon in response to Amber in Wonderland's channel, but that's one I'll show because it's got lots of silhouettes, so you can kind of insert yourself into it. I love the Knight in Shining Armor feel of a good Knight of Cups, but I also like the vulnerability of him having no pants, and that probably seems really silly, but I like that there's some exposure here for the Knight, and he's also not covered his head, and both of those feel symbolic to me. He's got the flower in his hands, so this is somebody who's more sensitive, willing to be more vulnerable. I always read the King of Cups, or sorry, the Knight of Cups rather, as somebody who's very nurturing. All of them. Although I do feel that the Knight of Cups is more impulsive with his emotions. Check out the Queen of Cups. Is that badass or what? So she's still underwater, but she seems more aware of her surroundings. She's more active. She's comfortable with her emotions, but she's also not letting them rule her, and she's also not letting herself tune out to what else is happening in the world. So there's awareness here. Yeah, I think of that in the Page of Cups because that's like legitimately one of my things I have to be aware of in my own life. King of Cups. So this is the thing about the King of Cups. If I'm remembering correctly, and I think I am, in the Osho Zen Tarot, the King of Cups is a very belly out, comfortable character. And I see the King of Cups in that way. Somebody who's comfortable with themselves. They may not have the most fit body, but there's somebody who's just like kind of relaxed. And I definitely get that relaxed, laid back energy here with the bare feet. He looks like he's sitting on a dock or something. Like I'm definitely getting that like, yeah, this is me, take it or leave it energy here. And he feels very peaceful. He's got the candle next to him. There's like a swan curled up like having a nap beside him, which I think is really cool. The colors in this deck, I mean, I'm sure my camera isn't doing it justice. They're so soft and like, I mean, I love the colorway through the whole cup suit, but you can see that the colors do go along. Like you've got all these like really lovely yellows in the backgrounds of the wands. Anyways, I better keep it moving here. Oh, yeah, Ink and Flame, I will definitely have to show Healing Light. It's just really pretty. And nobody really talks about it, but it's really nice. So, Ace of Swords. Here's another one. I adore the cards in this deck where you can see the quilted texture. or I say quilted because Peggy does a fair amount of quilting and things like that, but this coziness of the fabrics behind. Sorry, I just really love that. I like how clean the ace is here. The Ace of Wands was also clean, but on an Ace of Swords, I want it to look crisp and clear. I want it to bring up thoughts about clarity, so I want the colors around that to support that. This totally does. I like that the fabric behind gives the impression of clouds. Love that one. Okay, so this I totally dig. So it's our Two of Swords, and instead of the traditional sort of crossed swords, we see somebody whose eyes are closed, so they're obviously considering their options. And this is like almost like a present, and it makes me think of like almost like a Pandora's box situation. Like you can't know what's going to happen when you open it. You have to decide, are you going to like get rid of it, put it away, or are you going to actually open it? Feather stitches, that's what it's called. I'll have to ask Peggy. That's so funny. She would know too. She's not here right now, but she would know. She would know for sure. Don't let me forget. I've got a bag picked out to go with this deck that I'll show you all when I'm done here. She made it in her last batch of tarot bags, and I was like, yoink, that one's mine for the textured tarot that's coming my way. So we have the Three of Swords here, and oh, I love. Okay, so this is probably gonna get super personal, but I love the feeling in this card of grasping, of like not. Of wanting to like somehow change things. Like she's reaching forward, like, no, don't go, or no, I don't want to have this experience, come back, or I don't know. This is a very visceral looking image to me. It just brings up a lot of stuff. And I think it just feels really potent. Look at this Four of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to bring up another weird sci-fi reference. For starters, this contented sleep, I'll bring up the sci-fi reference in a second, but this contented sleeping girl here with the storm raging outside, to me, is wonderful imagery for the Four of Swords. It's exactly the kind of imagery I want to see to get a clear picture of this card. But I have to tell you, this bubble, which, I mean, I think of this as like a boundary or as a border, or what am I thinking of? Like a shield, like an energetic shield almost. But it totally reminds me, I'm being a geek, but it totally reminds me of the bubble, like that from the Fifth Element. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The like capsule that she gets like fixed in or repaired in. Oh, they're back. They're back. You're going to hear people and doggies. Oh, no doggies barking, so I think we're good that way. Yeah, the Four of Swords is so pretty. Here they come with groceries. I told them to bring me cake and ice cream because that's the mood I'm in. Five of Swords. I love this. Nice. Six of Swords. Look at this one. Oh my gosh. I love the hot air balloon. And all the swords are like here and they're buried. I love that. It's like, okay, that crap is buried and we're getting out of here. I like that they're not bringing them with them. A lot of the Six of Swords, they're bringing them with them. Yes, Four of Swords, still good. Seven of Swords, we got our little wolfie here taken off with three of them. Maybe what he's doing is protecting himself. We don't really know the whole story. I like that. Look at the Eight of Swords image. It looks as though, I really have to look at this closer, but it almost looks like, oh, there's a cake! She's going to put it in the camera. They brought me a cake! This is the exact one I said I wanted to. Thanks, dear. Oh, hey, is this a feather stitch? This is, like, look at this. It's one of the, where is it? Dang it, now I'm not going to be able to find it. Sorry, guys, I have to ask her, because I thought that was a really cool.
Ask me later.
Somebody said that's a feather stitch.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Isn't that cool? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Random things. I told you I was going to ask her. Okay. Anyway, see the cake? I'm excited. I'm going to have cake in a minute. It is a nice change of pace from the boat on that 6. Okay, sorry, but back to the 8, apparently. So, I feel like, I don't even know if I'm seeing it right, and I don't have my reading glasses on, which is a new thing I now need. Yay. But it looks almost like she's bound herself up. Oh, 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 oh! You even got Haagen-Dazs? They're really scared that I'm hormonal.
I needed a treat today.
I did need a treat today. Thank you.
You don't get to eat it all today, but you needed a treat today.
It's true. It's true. Yes, it looks like barbed wire. Sorry, I wish my camera would focus better. And I know I interrupted myself like a million times. And sorry for the noises in the background. But she's bleeding here. But what I think I see, there we go. Oh, it needed my finger. That's weird. My finger's either helping or it's messing it up. It looks to me like there's like a knife next to her. This is what I was getting at. It looks to me like she's got a knife to cut herself free, and she's just not. She's so locked up in what she's feeling that she just can't. Okay, making our way through here. The Nine of Swords. Look at these like shadowy claws reaching for her. But she looks like she's all wrapped up in a blanket of stars. That is just so pretty. I mean, I know this is like the fear card, but this makes me feel like she's ultimately safe, like she's surrounded in these stars. So pretty. They're still putting away groceries. Sorry if it's really loud. There we go. And the Ten of Swords. I love that this is not super bloody, but that you get this feeling of, okay, I know it's kind of dark, but I mean, I look to my Ten of Swords for a feeling of hopelessness or despair, even if it's not real, because sometimes this card, it needs to be a little bit melodramatic. Yes, wrapped up in her nightmares. That's an interesting take, Molly. Yes. I don't own the Japarids, so I don't, or Japaridze, or how are we supposed to say that? I don't know if this one compares. Does anybody else have it and can comment to Ink and Flame about whether it's similar? Look at this Page of Swords with her spyglass. See if I can get it to focus. My camera. She's like, it's like she's got a travel companion ready to go, and she's gonna like take off and have some sort of journey, and she's standing on books. I don't know. I love it when there's a bit of a nerdy feel to our Page of Swords. What's really interesting is she's actually facing away from us. If you look at it at first, it looks like she's facing towards us. Come on, camera. I hope this shows up well for you. I'm like half blind when I'm looking at the preview because it's a little bit further away, but she's actually facing away, and she's looking off into the distance, maybe at those birds, you know, thinking about them or studying them. And then she's kind of looked back at us, the viewer, and like is like, yeah, and I'm studying, like leave me alone. Or I'm preparing, or I'm planning. Yeah, there's a lot to dig into here, I feel like. The Knight of Swords. Yes, I need my Knight of Swords to be like a little bit wrapped up in himself. You know what I mean? Like a little bit like planning to charge ahead regardless of consequences. Her head is very flexible. Yes, I suppose that it is. She's kind of, yeah, she's pretty twisted. The tone of the decks. Yeah, I think I know what you mean, Ink and Flame. That the tone of the Japarids and this might be similar. Yeah, I know that it's not collage. The Japarids, it does feel very symbol rich for sure. From what I've seen on online. Like I said, I don't have it, but I like having cards that I can get lost in a little bit, and anything that draws me in and gives me things to notice in the background is really nice, because a lot of times when I'm reading, I'm not always reading the traditional meaning of the card, as I mentioned before. So I like to have the traditional meaning easily apparent so that I can have it as sort of a foundation. But oftentimes I'll look at something else on the card and it will give me this like intuitive hit of something else going on, and that can be really interesting. Ooh, butterflies, flamingo, Queen of Swords. I like that she looks resolute and like somebody not to be trifled with, but she doesn't look mean or totally walled off. Sometimes Queen of Swords can come off really icy, and I mean, I know that they can be, but I like them to be a little bit more dynamic than that. Are you scrubbing the floor over there?
It's been known to happen.
Oh, okay. They're doing something interesting in the kitchen. I really like the King of Swords. Come on, camera. There we go. I think it's focused. Yeah, he feels very air sign to me for sure. Somebody posted about the Tildwick. Yeah, I really, really looked at the Tildwick. Now, I heard that the artist that created the Tildwick recently passed away. And that deck is so expensive for me to get, and I'm worried. I wouldn't be able to, I don't think I would be able to read with it. I think it would be a deck I would adore looking through or doing path working in. And that really intrigues me. Like, I would love to own it, but it was hard for me to talk myself into it, knowing that it would probably be fairly limited for me in how I used it. Yeah, it's really unique. The Tildwick is amazing. Okay, so we're into the last suit. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, really classic and clean here, and I like the greens for Earth. We have the 2, and there's still that very light lemniscate, I think it's called, that infinity symbol in the back. The butterfly wings. I like that she's still balancing things. I like the simplicity here of the 3 of Pentacles. And what I actually really enjoy is these look like they've been carved, and then over here they looks like there's some sort of carving tools, so you can still pull that foundational meaning, but you're not quite as limited to it. The 4 of Pentacles. We've got this like bull. This feels like he's like defending almost, like my coins. Oh, is he a piggy bank? Yo, is he like a piggy bank? I think he's a piggy bank. I guess he's a bully bank. I'm so funny. I really enjoy this 5 of Pentacles. So really taking the time to look at this, it's like you've got this figure sort of over here off by himself, and there's all these holes in him, but those holes are also like they're the same size as these pentacles that are glowing over here. So you still get that idea of the stained glass window, and almost as if he feels empty, but he doesn't have to. Like he can go grab his pieces and put them back. For lack of a better way to express it, anytime he wants to. A flexible piggy bank. Yeah, he's flexible. Hey, I'm a yogi. I don't mind flexibility in my, my figures, as long as I think it looks anatomically possible. That Page of Swords was on the borderline there. I do really like the 6 of Pentacles. You get this idea of exchange of energy, and you could imagine, you could speak to either person here. You could speak to this person sharing some over here. She's more fully colored, so I could see her as having more and then offering more up over here to the one who has less to balance the scales. So there's definitely something to speak to there. The 7. I like this vision. I can't remember who said it in a previous walkthrough, but it's exactly what I think of when I look at this. This is clearly an artist. You see the artist palette up here, and it's almost like he's surveying his work and maybe picking a piece to put up in a gallery somewhere, or which piece does he want to sell, or, you know, what does he think is his favorite, you know, that sort of thing. So you get that assessment of work. Don't give me all the credit, Ink and Flame. I watched 2 walkthroughs. I mean, I noticed some things, but some things I'm noticing because I saw them pointed out before. I really, really love this. So the 8 of Pentacles, it's like mastery. And you could view this a number of ways. Like you could just view this as again, similar to the Strength card, which, hello 8. You could view this as self-mastery. But you could also see that she's got this glowing light in her hands, and she's got all this jewelry behind her, and then there's this string of pentacles. It's really pretty. The 9 of Pentacles, clearly hanging out with her abundance here in a very literal sense. She's like sitting or standing in a jewelry box, almost just surrounded by her wealth, her abundance. Aw, thanks you guys. The 10 of Pentacles. I love this idea. There's 2 things that stand out to me with this card. There's this giant, like, multi-family home. That's what that makes me think of, like an estate. And then up above, like a less tangible, we have this big tree with all of these layers of fabric that are making it up, and then this gigantic root system. And both of those things to me speak of like generations and of having built a foundation and established a home and tradition maybe. These are all things that I like to see in my Ten of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. There's some introversion here, which is kind of interesting. I like that. I like to see sometimes the Page of Pentacles really digging into something. So in this case, she seems to be digging in more intellectually, which is something that I typically, I guess, associate more with the Page of Swords. But she is surrounded here by this little garden, and there's these little acorns next to her. Yeah, I'd have to take some more time with that one. Peggy's already got cake, yo. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. Knight of Pentacles, working away.
Stay away from my cake.
Apparently I can't have her cake. Yeah, it is a cool 10 of Pence. Yeah, that tree, I think that tree is really neat. Thanks, Incan Flame. Yeah, I like that this is slow. Like there's a plodding energy to the Knight of Pentacles. So that definitely gives me that feeling. I really adore this Queen of Pentacles. I love that she's got her hands right in the clay. I like that she's got a different body shape than we're used to seeing. She's definitely chunkier through the legs. I like that. I like seeing that in my decks. A little bit more diversity in body shape or age. Totally remembering Ghost now. And our King of Pentacles. I like that his posture is slightly more relaxed. So he has built up his resources, but he doesn't seem grasping or like he has anything he really has to prove. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Very happy with this. And really, I think as collage decks go, having one that's got such a really well blended format. Oh my gosh, though, these are really stiff to shuffle. They're real thick. Holy moly. I expected them to flex, and they totally didn't flex. I'm going to have to break this one in a little bit. Let's see. Well, it takes a little bit of strength. I can't really bridge it, though. It isn't really quite thick. It's probably, I don't know cardstock. I shouldn't even try. But it's more than my other decks. We're getting there. It does feel really nice. Like it's matte. It's not it's got just enough, I don't want to say shine, but it's got, ooh, yeah, see, these are really stiff. I'm going to play my bad shuffling on the deck. How's that? Let's just do a random draw, and then I will read from the guidebook, because I haven't even looked at it really to see what the definitions are like. Oops. Had a flipper. This deck would obviously hold up really well, and the cards slide really nicely on each other, but they're not slippery. So that's nice. Not a show-off. Yeah, I don't want my King of Pence to look like a show-off. The one in the Fountain Tarot is borderline for me. He looks almost like somebody referred to him as a bank manager in a video once, and now I can't see past that, but he looks a little bit stuffy, and I think the King of Pence is usually somewhat relaxed. Like, that's the personality that I envision. There's somebody that's a little more relaxed. They're grounded, maybe more analytical, but they're not too terribly uptight. Will I edge it? I was thinking about that. This is another shade. I actually just got the Journey to the Hidden Realm Tarot, and it also has sort of a lavendery gray. This is really definitely gray. Journey to the Hidden Realm is a similar color on the back, and I don't know what I would edge it. Like, it's so white, but I don't know what I would edge it with. And the white does kind of blend with the backs a little bit here. You have that shock of white on like, not shock, but that bit of white here and here. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Okay, I could literally shuffle forever, so I'm just going to cut and pull a card. And we have our flexible piggy bank. The 4 of Pence. Let's see. I think I will do with the guidebook, though, the little marker trick where I, according to the color, I usually use purple for majors, and then green for pence, and yellow for swords, blue for cups, along the sides, so I can quickly flip to the card that I want. So there's not a lot here. What does it say? Let's put this over here. So rationality and stability, saving, increased financial and material worth and power. So the piggy bank idea here is perfect for saving. I like that. Selfishness, stubborn, frugality, greed, control, gifts for money management, sorry, closed off, hoarding, boxed in, miser, suspicion, self-worth. That's an interesting one for here.
Okay, Google, stop.
Oh, we had an alarm going off. Okay, we're good. We have a Google alarm going off. Peggy's like, I have to tell the Google to stop. Oh, sorry, back to keywords. Believing your way is the only way, limited viewpoint, penny pinching, fierce determination, structure and meaning to chaos, security, new money, ambition. So it looks like it's just a list of keywords. That's fine for me. I don't typically refer to the guidebook unless it's a really difficult to learn deck. Like the Marielle, for example, I really studied the guidebook so that I could get the artist's interpretation. The artist's interpretation, I think, is pretty clear with the images that she's chosen. The artist, by the way, of this deck is Lisa McLaughlin. And I should show that. Let's see if it'll focus. Come on, camera. There we go. Lisa McLaughlin art. I know it went out of focus again, but you can find her on Etsy. Oh, and I told you I was going to show you the bag that I picked out for this deck. So Peggy ended up with a very, oh, come on, shuffle. She ended up with a very small amount of this fabric, so I'll have to ask her if she has any more. But I totally had to snag it because it totally reminded me of collage art. So this is the one. It just, with the gray and black in the background and then the color over top, I was just like, yes, that totally reminds me of collage. So that is my new bag for my textured tarot. Fun! Hey, did I do a live that was like under an hour and a half? I think I did. Cool, cool. I'm so glad some of you were actually awake because, oh, just, okay, a little bit over an hour. That's fine. I didn't do too bad. I totally expected to just, again, film to like nobody because it's late in the evening and I just really wanted to get this up and have a chance to dig into this, but I am excited to be playing with it. Yay! Thank you all so much for joining me. Hopefully, yeah, new deck and new bag all in one go. Story of my life. That's how it goes. I get a new deck, and then I get a new bag, and then I get a new deck, and then I get a new bag. That's how I'm going to do that. I didn't make it. No, Molly. My wife, Peggy, makes all of my bags and my reading cloths. She does all of it. I have no patience for sewing. No, I'm not a sewer. Although I do help sometimes with the stringing of the bags. But yes, this is all her work.
The bags and the stealing of
Lots of the stealing of the bags. Exactly. Here at Sophia is good for something, Molly. Yes, I didn't have to film into like nothingness. That's awesome. Thank you, Deb, too, for being here and tuning in. Thank you, Ink and Flame. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go get some cake and maybe some ice cream. Maybe just cake. I'll probably just have cake tonight. A little bit of cake, and then I'm going to toddle off to bed. Oh, well, thank you, Molly. I think the strings do look great. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all again very soon. You're welcome. Have a great night, everybody.